But we can shift. We can shift. We can shift. We can shift. Appreciate the culture roundtable. But let's get into some sports. We think it's a sports show, so let's get into some sports. A lot of things really been going on, but one thing that kind of, I guess, caught the attention of the general public and even our attention is this idea of Brady versus Belichick. Right? This idea of Brady versus Belichick. And it's kind of funny because, we're seeing this played out, and we kind of talked about it like before this season. We kind of alluded to it when we found out that Brady was going to Tampa Bay. We kind of talked about it. You saw it on the sports, sports pundits kind of dealt with it. But the question is it fair to judge them this season, you know what I'm saying, on, was it Tom Brady or was it Belichick as far as the success is concerned with the Patriots? Like, is it fair? Right? Like that's the question everybody want to know. We talked about it before, but now we seeing, I think midway in the season, obviously the Patriots suck. The Bills just beat them. What, they're 2-5 or 2-6?
2 and 5.
2-5. Tom Brady, they hitting the stride. They almost had a little hiccup against the Giants, but they hitting the stride, right? The defense is playing good. Tom Brady, the other game just threw for what? I don't know, 4 or 5 touchdowns. Like he's throwing the ball. It seems like Gronk is rejuvenated. Granted, he got Mike Evans, he got Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. He about to come. Scotty Miller, all of a sudden, he catching bombs.
A short wide receiver. No, Brady left him a small white wide receiver.
He sure do.
The non-diva. He gotta have a non-diva
now. Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. I'm crying. Ronald Jones fumble. He don't get the ball no more. So please pray for me. But nonetheless, tackle that, Rad. I'm gonna go to you first, and I know I'm gonna save my thoughts for last. But Rad, I want to hear your thoughts because you're the Tom Brady hater in the crew.
I'm a Tom Brady. I think okay, whatever.
You don't like rings.
Okay, is it fair? No, it's not fair, but it is what it is. It's not fair. It is what it is. The narrative is the narrative. Brady got the one up. Brady's winning in a post breakup. He's winning. He rebounded better. He got the better girlfriend. You know what I mean? He got a 10, and Belichick dealing with a 2 over there. Half his defense is not playing, didn't show up. The offense is in shambles. None of the people that Brady even had last year is there. Edelman is on IR. N'Keal Harry didn't play. And they're not good anyway. Sony Michel ain't good anyway, but it doesn't matter. The narrative is going to be the narrative. The Patriots doesn't look good, and it doesn't look like they're going to be turned around anytime soon. And a lot of people is saying that the Buccaneers is a favorite to win the NFC. You know what I mean? It's that simple. It's literally that simple. Now, if you want the nuance to it is like it's more to just Brady is better than Brady. What Brady did is better than Belichick, but the narrative is going to be the narrative. And to be honest with you, it is what it is. Brady got to leave and choose his destination and chose a good one. And Belichick had to settle for Cam, as you can see, because he settled for Cam. So it is what it is, man. Do I think I always gave more credit to Belichick, and at this juncture I'm still going to lean towards Belichick still. But Brady might win a Super Bowl this year, man. It's not out of the realm of possibility. And Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots probably gonna have a top 10 on draft pick. So that's clear as day. But I'm still gonna lean towards Belichick in that rift.
Yeah, I'm off that train, Rad. You go ahead. You have fun on that yourself if you want it. I kind of always thought it was the Brady, right? Because the Patriots, no, it's been years when they led in penalties. It's been years when the defense always haven't been great. But Tom Brady, it didn't matter what the position he was in, he crawled back. Whether he was down, whether he was good field position, bad field position, he threw 4 or 5 picks. Y'all been fumbling. Y'all can't stop the other team. Like Brady has always been the one to get the Patriots out. And I always said once he is gone, and you come back to the mean with your quarterback, like that pass interference matters a lot. It's been a lot of times when, because as Bills fans, we complain about the refs cheating us. Oh, well, this pass interference. If you watch Patriots games, they have a lot of the same stuff. Tom Brady just overcome it. And when you don't have a player like Tom Brady and you have Cam Newton who will make that mistake, a lot of things that didn't matter start to matter a lot. Now, is Patriots team even close to what they were in Brady years? No, they're terrible. They are legit terrible. But I think if Brady is on this team, I don't think they're 2-5, regardless, even him at this age. So I think Brady is for 100% is the reason why they have had so much success. Belichick is a great coach. I don't want to take that away from him. But Brady, I think, and this is showing that Brady was the guy. He held a lot of that stuff together. And once he left, Patriots look terrible. They're 2-5, and the Jets better look out because they might have a race for Trevor Lawrence.
At first, I was gonna kill Belichick, right? Like I was gonna kill him, but when I think about it, I think I'm more aligned with Rad. Because this is what I'll say. If Tom Brady was on the Patriots, I think they're still an 8-win team. 9-win team. They're terrible, right? He literally doesn't have anybody to throw to. And it's not even that. It's just their defense is really, 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 really bad.
Like has Tom Brady ever won 8 games?
No. So, I mean, I can't necessarily say that per se. But at the same time, this team is really, really bad. They had a lot of people who opted out. So, it's not ideal. But I will agree that their record would be better, right? I do concede that. But also, if Bill Belichick was on Tampa Bay, they would be an undefeated team, right? Because the talent that's on that team, you giving him a wheelhouse. I mean, you giving him whatever, like literally. So if you take Tom Brady off the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and you give him, I don't care. You give him Cam Newton right now. I don't know. He's terrible. But you give him Jameis Winston. You keep Jameis Winston on that team. He'll figure out a way to put Jameis in the right positions. I honestly believe that. And I think they'll be 8-0 right now. They'll be 8-0. They would not lose a game. They would go 16-0 with this team with Bill Belichick. That's my personal opinion. Because it's no penalties. Everything is, you know what I mean, tip top and all that. So I think that they complement each other very well. They're both great in their own, individual ways. But at the same time, I think it's fair. Raz said it wasn't fair. I'm on that line. It's fair to judge because you a grown man. You know what I'm saying? You put your pants on just like he do. And with Bill Belichick, you not figuring it out. I think one of the biggest things for me, Bill Belichick is not a great evaluator of talent. And I know, let that sink in. Y'all ready? Okay. He's not a great evaluator, right?
He just drafted the greatest quarterback of all time. That's all he did.
But that's luck. That was luck. Because when you look at it this way, right? Name one good wide receiver that they drafted ever. I'll wait. Name one good receiver that they ever had on their team besides the obvious.
He drafted Gronk, who
I said wide receiver,
but he played a pass catcher.
I'm asking him for a wide receiver.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you. The answer is
he drafted Gronk, who people say is the greatest tight end of all time. Also,
okay, that's neither here nor there.
And he drafted Hernandez, who might have been the greatest.
Listen,
of all time. If he wasn't out there with the sticky.
Listen, he was the greatest sticky of all time. Listen, but I know, boss.
You wildin'.
Yo, Breeze, I know you seen that documentary.
Listen. You
gotta chill.
Listen, prayers to the families. But so let me say, honestly, my point is like, yo, they have nobody to throw to. N'Keal Harry, terrible. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the N'Keal Harry draft pick is terrible because AJ Brown and DK Metcalf went after him. That's as worse as it can be.
But all of them, if you look at the receivers in history, all of them are terrible. I mean, you found Julian Edelman on the street. You know what I'm saying? Wes Welker was on the street. You know what I mean? You just got them and you plugged them in. Obviously, you had Randy Moss, Deion Branch, but those are the only weapons.
Yeah, but I can have a flip argument today. Say that the wide receiver position is overrated. Clearly, if Bill Belichick,
it's not.
But listen to me. If Bill Belichick had Randy Moss never won a ring with him.
Oh, come on, that's horse. That's horse. That was the best. That was the best of Tom Brady. Like, that's a stupid argument.
If you're telling me that the greatest coach of all time never drafted a great wide receiver and has 6 rings. Who cares? What doesn't matter? I don't care if you can draft wide receivers.
No,
got 6 rings.
Rad. The whole point was but Mike's point is because of Tom Brady. That was my
But he
point.
won rings when Tom Brady was not good. We saw that.
What do you mean?
The first year Brady started, he was not a below average quarterback.
I don't like when people say that, right? Because
what do you mean? We saw, we watched it.
Right. Obviously, Tom Brady was not the greatest quarterback of all time at that time because he just started.
And Bill Belichick won a Super Bowl in spite.
But you say it in spite, but it's like he's growing into being the greatest. He's still like he is who he is. It's an ascension. It's a time period, Rat. You can't take it out. Like I don't understand when people say that. It doesn't make sense to me
because
like,
we watched it and we see the stats. He wasn't a great. It wasn't. He didn't win the Super Bowl because of him. He was along for the ride. We saw it.
Only issue I have with that, Rat, is I don't know if Bledsoe is winning the Super Bowl.
Nobody know.
Yeah, I know.
But we know it's not because of Brady.
Yes, we do know because he was there. Stop saying that.
One touchdown the whole playoff.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it don't matter.
It doesn't. How many turnovers did he throw?
Like two. I think like two interceptions and one touchdown. Look at it.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
That's not bad.
That's terrible.
He did not put. Listen.
I got it.
Listen. No, he didn't put his team in the bad positions in order for them to be down. I mean, listen. You say it don't mean nothing. You say it don't mean nothing, but that means something.
So Trent Dilfer is great.
I didn't say Trent Dilfer was great. Trent Dilfer was.
He did the same thing with the Ravens.
He was great with that team. He was great for that team.
All right. You got it.
All right. Well, we're gonna see. Patriots pretty much dead. The Bucks are alive. They got the Saints on Sunday. I think.
Let me.
Oh, go ahead.
Since we're talking about quarterbacks, can I ask y'all a quick question?
Yeah. No.
And this is tough for me. It really is. But is Lamar Jackson terrible?
No.
So what's going on? Like my granted, he's a black quarterback. Shouts out to him. Even if he was bad, I'm still rooting for him. So with that being said, my issue is like he is playing awful. Like he's terrible, and nobody wants to talk about it. But I need to say something about it. Like the man completed 10 passes. like what are we talking about? Like if Josh Allen completed 10 passes, what would you say? On the Overdue Bills podcast, shout out to the Overdue Bills podcast, please.
He completed 11.
Subscribe to that.
He completed 11. I didn't per se kill him. He completed 11.
What would you say, Mike?
I would say that that's not good enough.
Okay.
But my issue is that I don't think you have preached, but people give Josh Allen the grace of, well, the teams are playing zone now, and now
you know me.
And Josh Allen got to figure out. So they give him time to figure it out. Lamar Jackson got to figure out whatever the teams are doing against him. But I don't want to call him terrible yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's terrible at all. I think they.
I mean, they 5-2, right?
They're 5-2. I think. Once again, I think his teams understanding some things. He got to readjust to what teams doing, and he got to figure it out. We all knew as a thrower he wasn't the best, and he got to keep progressing in that facet. So he gonna continue to do that, and they can still win. The issue was that based on quarterback standards of the recent years, he not doing great, but they can still win with him doing other things. And if he just cut down a couple of those, he wasn't a turnover prone last year. He had 3 turnovers this past game. If he cut down 1 or 2 of those, they win that game. You know what I'm saying? He just got to figure that out. No, they win that game because Big Ben was terrible as well. Big Ben was terrible in the first half. He came back and figured it out. Big Ben was terrible against Tennessee. They got a good defense, just figured it out. Now, I think what we said about earlier is about the weapons around Lamar Jackson. They need another stud receiver because Hollywood Brown is good, but he's not all he can be. And Mark Andrews is limited based on some things too. And you know what I mean? So I think if you get him more help around on offensive side, for sure, because what they did is put everything in the defense. I think Lamar need more help on offensive side, far as passing.
Willie Snead's still in the league.
It's terrible.
Yeah, Willie Snead is this number 2. So you know what I'm saying? Like
real quickly, should Cam Newton will he ever be a starter ever again?
I can be started probably Sunday.
I'm saying after this season.
Unless if he turn around, then no. I mean, it's unfair, but that's how it'll go.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
They don't have literally. It's probably besides the Jets. It's probably the worst offense in the NFL. and that's bad, and that's saying a lot. They're terrible. Edelman, no N'Keal Harry. He throwing to Jacoby Myers. Who's the tight end? Y'all know the tight end?
No, and I don't
Nobody
want to know.
knows.
Zero
Like it's
fantasy value.
terrible. It's literally the worst offensive talent in the league. Besides, it might be the worst because I think people like Mims and Crowder, right? People like those guys, so it might be the worst offensive talent in the league. So it's unfortunate for Cam, but that's how it goes.